Technology, Federal University of Environmental Technology. My goodness. You know, Nigeria is a place where they are not interested in funding education because, like El Rufai put it, Nigeria is being led by illiterates, criminals. So education is not really a priority. It is just for the show off of it, okay? So who won't go to Bola Tinubu's University of Environmental Technology? Raise up your hand. Princess, you say register because they need pioneer students. Nobody knows when it's going to kick off, by the way. But yeah, if anybody wants to go and do PhD, you can probably go and do something about the environment, right? In Ogoni. Ogoni, precisely. Scam. We shall be here. Going forward, talking about a scam. Even though they told you repeatedly, like I said before, propaganda can only kind of like help you to some level, but it won't really, do anything all through. So to say, you cannot use propaganda to run a country. That's not how it works. You see, you have to be seen to be doing something substantial, okay? Then you can now mix it with propaganda. In the case of Tinubu and his gang, you can see through their lies. Because if you are doing anything right, you see, there is no amount of criticism that can take that away from you. They lied to you about Warri Refinery, Abi, Port Harcourt Refinery, Abi. Meanwhile, the importation of fuel, PMS, especially to Nigeria. Okay, they have said it. They said the refineries doesn't refine petrol. Since then, bomb, I never heard anything like that before. The refinery is refining from the same crude oil, is only refining diesel and kerosene. You know, they refine PMS. But Nigeria is a place where people have been so browbeaten, they have been so bullied, they have become so traumatized that sometimes, right, in fact, all the time, even Nigerians want the lies to be true, to the point that it is only in Nigeria, right, that they will see a lie. And because they have been so traumatized, they will begin to fight you and say, hey, what if it's true? But it's not true. I know it's not true. I'm just saying that, okay, what if it's true? Money is not true. You just said it. You said it, you know it's not true. Which one is what if it's true? I'm just saying that let us be positive. Let us just pray. Let's pray that it is true. You know the hear word? You just said that you know it's not true. But we should pray that it is true. That's the type of Nigerians you meet. If you have met some of them, they have been so traumatized, Baba, that they want lies to be true. So desperately, enough that they have been lied to so many times that even themselves don't know what is true or what is true anymore. But because of the trauma, they always wish the lie is true. You have to give that to them. Between October 1st, 2024 and December 31st, 2024, Nigeria imported over 3.8 billion liters of petroleum to Nigeria. You heard me right. Billions. And we are talking about billions of dollars worth of petroleum imported to Nigeria. Guess what? 70% of that was kind of like routed by a mortar into Nigeria. And then you're like, the time they said Dangote Refinery is there, what do you call it? Warri Refinery is there, Port Harcourt Refinery is there. Shouldn't that have stopped or kind of like end importation of fuel into Nigeria? The truth of the matter is that No matter how many times you wish the lies are true, they can never be true. They can't. Well, where is this guy? I want you to listen to this first, okay? Just a quick one.
Apologies for that. Mr. Kevin Emmanuel is still with us. I mean, I'm not surprised. All refineries, none of it could produce a product for 5 years or more. And we kept maintaining them and running them. Now, we now see 2 refineries owned by the government. They say it's working. But in all of this, what is your assessment? Since Dangote Refinery kicked off production and started selling locally, and when the government also came on stream to say 2 of our refineries are likely or will be given product out, what has been your assessment so far?
So I thank you so much for having me. It's a privilege to be here. And happy belated New Year to you.
Yes, it is. Second month of the year.
Second month of the year. So I like data, because data is incontrovertible. You can't argue with data, especially when the other side cannot dispute data. Between October 1, 2024 and December 31, 2024, the players in the mid and downstream sector, along with NNPC, imported 3.8 billion liters of PMS into Nigeria.
October?
Between October, that's the Q4 of 2024. Between October 1 and December 31.
That's 4 months ago.
4 months ago. They imported 3.8 billion liters of PMS.
Refined
PMS. Well, it's arguable because, there is proof. There is paper trail to show that about 35 or 40% of that product was actually routed through Malta, through blending. And show, as we speak today,
PMS controversial in Malta.
Yes. PMS that is blended in Malta is still being imported into Nigeria, up to about 180,000 metric tons a month. The 3.8 billion liters that was imported within the intervening period is valued at, I would say, about 3.6 trillion naira. So between January 1 and January 29, motor vehicle tanker report shows that 458 million liters of PMS was brought into Nigeria this past month.
Imported.
Refined products.
But
NNPC had 212 million liters of those cargoes. So the question I keep asking, considering that Technimont was the contractor to Port Harcourt Refining Company. Technimont submitted a bid proposal in October 2019 to be the contractor, EPC contractor, to do turnaround maintenance for the Port Harcourt Refinery. And the project award letter is valued at about $1.5 billion. So basically, they collect project award letter from FEC. They didn't have the cash. They pledged Nigeria's crude oil barrels through foreign sale agreements, collected cash up front, gave it to a contractor who did turnaround maintenance for a 60,000 barrel per day modular refinery that cannot directly process PMS. The question I keep asking is if you're really processing crude oil into PMS in Eleme and in Warri, why are you importing PMS into Nigeria? With crude oil that is supposed to be sold and sent back to CBN to meet up their balance of payment obligations and stabilize the macroeconomy.
Yeah, Mr. Emmanuel, give me a moment. We need to go on a short break. We'll be right back, everyone.
Even showing how to take a break. Like, data, no, see, data don't lie. So you get, and data stubborn, gone. Oh, look, data, very, very stubborn. You can lie, you can do whatever it is to people and make it look so glamorous. The moment data is presented, mental problem, you will continue to actually disagree. Data don't lie. How can you spend over $4 billion in repairing your refineries, and then you turn around and say the refinery doesn't process PMS? Who does that? Does that even make any sense? Does that make any sense to you? Then you have a refinery that you feed crude oil, but it doesn't refine petrol. Then on the other hand, you were busy, NNPC, others, they were busy importing PMS into Nigeria to the tune of 3.8 billion liters. Data don't lie. You know, when things don't add up, they don't add up. There's no amount of, let's give them time. Let us pray. Let us hope. No. If it's blue, it's blue. If it is black, it is black. If when it is red, it is red. Oh, I want you to listen more. Please listen more.
Apologies for that. Mr. Kevin Emmanuel is still with us. I mean, I'm not surprised because one will imagine, excuse me, that it might not be a crime, is it, for us to import. But the quantum of the importation is what I'm surprised at, and the figures of the importation. When a few months ago, we did not have any opportunity to refine locally. But when you're mentioning these figures, with possible trail that this product actually came in millions of liters into the country is what is baffling. Is it a crime to import? Because it's a free market, isn't it?
So, you know, the example I like to give is with the pharmaceutical sector. The World Health Organization has what they call good manufacturing practice that says there is a minimum benchmark globally for pharmaceutical manufacturing. So it's like you saying that, okay, you have a GMP standard globally, and pharmaceutical products are so expensive in Nigeria, and NAFDAC and SON should allow companies to import substandard products that goes below GMP standards for WHO because the price is a little higher than the substandard products that are imported into Nigeria. It's unfair competition, and it violates the law. Sections 317, 7 to 9 is very clear of the PIA. So it means that NMDPRA, as a regulator of mid and downstream, is violating the law that has been set in the PIA and is producing a gazette on that whenever the domestic refiner shows the capacity to be able to refine, and Dangote, for example, right now is doing about 48 million liters of PMS. It's at 550,000 barrels per day capacity utilization. You're supposed to stop giving import, like NNPC claims also that they are refining. So, you know, the question I asked earlier is, if you're actually refining for about $2.4 billion that has been expended in turnaround maintenance within the last 6 years, by you selling Nigeria's crude oil in exchange for collecting cash upfront to do turnaround maintenance, why are you importing 212 million liters of PMS?
Let's get it right. Before Dangote came on stream, before the Port Harcourt Refinery came on stream, what is the quantum of importation of refined product into Nigeria?
The government claims that they were importing about 2 billion liters every month.
Every month.
And consumption was actually about 60 or 70 million liters per month. But I'll tell you why those figures are...
You know the reason why I'm asking, just for a moment, how many billions of liters were we importing per month?
The government
before any of the refineries.
The government claims 2 billion liters a month.
2 billion liters.
Anywhere around.
But you said
Nigeria
that from October.
Yes.
From October.
Yes.
I mean, we're still coming to the transparency of those figures.
Yes.
Whether those figures have any integrity or not.
Yes.
Considering our local consumption, because the reality is that we do know that whatever comes into Nigeria is not only consumed by Nigerians. Most of it found their ways outside of Nigeria. But let's hold that figure. 2 billion liters before any of the refineries came on stream, isn't it?
Yes.
You said between October last year, which 4 months ago, and now, how many liters did you say paper trail show that has been imported into Nigeria?
Between October last year and now, Nigeria has gotten about 4 billion liters of PMS.
So an average of 1 billion liters
a month.
A month.
Yes.
Which is just a billion liters short of what we got before any of the refineries.
Exactly.
Now, so with Dangote and Port Harcourt Refinery, that at least in the last 3 months we know that both of those refineries are working and are churning out product, isn't it?
According to what they said, that Port Harcourt and Warri is working.
Yeah.
But it's disputable, and the reason it's disputable is because technically, the 46 kilometer trunk line that takes crude oil from Escravos through the Chernobyl creeks to Warri Refining Petrochemical Company is out of service. It was vandalized. So how are you taking crude oil feedstock to the refinery?
A lot of the reporters who got on the ground who said they saw trucks.
So Warri does not have a catalytic reforming unit that can crack naphtha into higher distillates like premium motor spirits. And one of the proof, if you ask any technical person who is familiar with the refining business anywhere in the world, one of the proof that you're refining PMS is that you're recovering petroleum gases. You cannot refine PMS and not recover petroleum gases. So how are you claiming to be refining PMS and then NPC has not shown us the LPG that is being produced from the
refinery? So you are saying that the possibility of Warri refining any product is almost zero?
It's almost zero. 93,000 metric tons of products
lied to.
93,000 metric tons of products came through Warri within the last 4 months. 93,000 metric tons of products came through Warri within the last 4 months. Does it make sense?
So it doesn't make sense, or it doesn't look true that Warri Refinery is producing.
So LMA and Warri, I'll tell you what, $2.4 billion was designated. You basically pledged Nigeria's crude oil, or 7,000 barrels per day, in exchange for upfront cash. Because when the fake award letter was awarded, it was given in 2020, the government NNPC didn't have money to prosecute turnaround maintenance, and they pledged it with creditors. Creditors gave them the cash, pledged Nigeria's crude oil through forward sale agreement, which is one of the reasons why you're not seeing a lot of FX come to CBN for balance of payment and stabilization of the macroeconomy. So if you look at all the forward sale agreements that have been structured between 2019 and 2025, you're talking of anywhere between 12 and 14 billion dollars. As a matter of fact, there is currently one on the table called Project Leopard, right, of $2 billion. NNPC says they want to borrow. You have two syndicates already. One, a national oil company that recently acquired the assets of one of the upstream companies, IOCs, and then one Abu Dhabi National Oil Company. The only reason why that announcement has not been made is because one of the major international traders pulled out as a syndicate on that deal. So you have all this structure where NNPC basically places Nigeria's crude oil, collects cash, they go to do vendor financing program, they go to do...
Again, Nigeria only make it. You may not understand all of the kind of terminology the guy is using, but make I use the layman explanation now for you, dear Templars. In 2020, right, NNPC used Nigeria's crude oil as a collateral in order to take a cash upfront. And that cash upfront was to do a turnaround maintenance, $2.8 billion. So $2.8 billion was given to them. And they were to be given this syndicate, this creditor, 67,000 barrels of crude oil every day to pay back. So which means they are not expecting any money to be paid to them. Rather, they are using crude oil to pay back the loan. Now, you spend $2.8 billion, according to them, on turnaround maintenance. And then you claim that your Port Harcourt refinery is working, your Warri refinery is working. Meanwhile, the pipeline, the crude oil pipeline that was supposed to supply, that was meant to supply the crude oil to these refineries from Escravos, right, has been vandalized for years now. It's not been fixed. So how are you getting crude oil to these refineries in the first place? How? You pumping the crude oil into tankers and offloading them at the refinery. So he also asked a very, very, very important question there, that if you are fracking, what is it called? If you are refining crude oil in that way and you are getting PMS, there's also the petrochemical gas or something that comes out of that, right? Which show that indeed you are actually doing refining. So the bottom line is, yeah, you may see tankers pretending to be loading fuel from their gantry. But the truth is that when you sell these lies, you need many, many other lies or layers of lies to cover the original lie. Meanwhile, outside those lies lies the paper trail of how much of this product that have been imported into Nigeria.